Okay, we're back. You didn't think I'd build another rocket, did you? I told you I would. Only this time we're going to do something different. This is called Model Rockets Behind the Scenes. And this is part one, how I build them. Now this is the one that we're going to build today. I won't tell you the name until we get it all built, but this is basically an EX model, basically a beginner's EX model. So there's no painting required, however there is some gluing required. So comes with all your parts there, the instructions, and this is the stuff you will need when you build a rocket. You'll need your motors. It'll tell you what kind of motors it takes. Modeling glue, I use Gorilla Glue because it's a lot better, and I use one that has a brush. Wood glue if your model rockets are wood. A little model knife, and that's to help cut the wood and corners. And then for other rockets, wood models, you'll need sandpaper. That's to help smooth out the wood. Now keep in mind though, this rocket that I'm building doesn't need no painting or sanding or nothing like that. It might need a little sanding, but there will be no painting, no sanding. Some of the rockets require you to paint them. I keep little things of paint like this. Also, I use spray paint. That's my little workbox there. Haven't opened it in 4 years. Yeah, it's been a while, folks, since I built and launched one, but we're going to do it this way. So we're going to get started step by step. I'll show you slowly how I built this one. And then part two will be assembling the launch pad and getting the rocket ready. And then part three will be the launch. So, hope you're excited. I am. It's good to be back, and we'll see you soon. So, on some models, you're going to need a ruler and a pencil. Make sure it's nice and sharp. And if you've never seen my launch rods before, there they all are. So, what you want to do, put that tube against the door frame like that, and then draw a line all the way down the tube, which I'm going to do right now. I'll be right back. Alright, so we've already installed the first thing, the launch lug. That's where the tube is going to go. And we took a ruler and measured 1.5 inches away from this point here. And then we cut a couple of indentions using the knife here, the modeling knife. Then we took our modeling glue, pasted the launch lug on there, and there we go. First thing done. Let's go to step 2. So the next step is assembling this together. This piece comes apart like that, and you're going to glue them together. And then I'll show you what the finished product is. So we're going to take the modeling glue, and we're going to paste all this right here, and these edges, here, and these edges, and then we'll glue them together. And then I'll show you what it looks like. And there's your assembled product. Here's a little rant for you. This stuff can get you high. The fumes are that bad, and it's really sticky, so be kind of careful. But you know, when you got fat fingers, you know, it's hard to build. But there we go. Let's go to the next step. So now we're going to the tail fin assembly, and this one is a little weird because you got too short like here and too long, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You just see how right there, you just lock it in there, and then you're gonna before that you're gonna put glue on the fins and then lock it into place and then let them dry. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll so you basically want to brush glue right here and then just slide it in like it says and lock it into place like that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'll let it dry, and then I'll show you the completed fin. Oops, there we go. There you have it, the finished product, glued and everything. Yeah, I know that's weird. That's how the rocket's supposed to look. Oh. Now we'll continue. We're going to glue it on to the tube. So I haven't glued it yet. what you want to do before you glue it is you want to make sure the launch lug here is in a clear spot like that, and that's why the launch pad rod can sit right through there. Alright, so we're going to glue it on and you'll see what it looks like. The easiest way to glue this is you want to take your modeling glue and you want to kind of, whoops, brush it around the inside here, and that way when you slide this on it'll catch. So we'll do that right now and then I'll show you the finished product. Look at that. That's starting to come alive here, folks. It's almost done. I could probably remove that tape too. You want, when I put the launch lug on and put the glue on, you want to let it dry, so you put the tape to secure it in place, but we can remove that shortly. All that's left now is to assemble the next thing. You're going to love this thing. So here's where I said it gets weird. Oops, this thing doesn't want to focus in, sorry. This is going to be a glider assembly, yeah. We're using cardboard, it's kind of weird. And then this little circle. So the idea is you want to fold this into a circle, tape these ends together, put it through this little circle here, and then tape it in there. Yeah. I'll show you the finished product when it's done, and you'll understand. Okay, so this is the assembled finished product. This is supposed to be like a cardboard glider. You know, when the rocket launches, it'll glide down here. I'm going to tell you right now, truthfully, folks, this thing was a bitch to assemble. You have to carefully insert it in that little circle, and then you can't glue it on there. Well, I mean, you could, but it's not going to stay. The best way to do it is to scotch tape it. So that's what I did. I don't know if it's going to stay together. We can only hope, but that's what it looks like when it's all finished. And then it's simple to put on. It attaches onto these little hooks right here. Right there. And I'll show you what that looks like. There you have it. Just like that. Alright, so the big part is done. We're going to assemble the nose part, and I'll tell you some do's and some don'ts while I'm assembling it. Okay, so we're going to assemble the cone, nose cone now. And here's the do's and the don'ts. Do put glue inside here, right along the rim. And then this piece just goes on like that and glues on. Don't put any glue here. Never put any glue there. That's your nose. This is where the parachute's going to go, right there. So don't get any glue right here. Make sure it goes inside. This will get glued on, and then we'll assemble the next set. So now we got the fun part next, the parachute. It's a little hard to explain, so I'll just show you the diagram. And you start there. Loop it through the cone here, right there. Then pull the parachute through the strings, and it makes a knot. I'll show you the assembled product when it's finished. What I'd like to do, and I want to thank one of my subscribers, is I eventually want to upgrade to where I can put a fishing swivel on all these cones, and that way the parachute won't tangle up. So I'm going to eventually do that. Just got to get the swivels and the funds for it. It's coming soon. Product. Whoops. So there's your finished product. Parachute. That's probably the toughest one to assemble, because if you don't get those strings right, parachute won't deploy properly, but that's what it should look like. Alright, we are nearly done, folks. Time for the shock cord. That's another tricky one to assemble. I'll show you that one. So here's your second trickiest thing to do, is assembling the shock cord. Once this is assembled, we'll tie it onto the nose cone right there where the parachute is. And here's where finally we get to put my wood glue to max. Now, as I said, I use the wood glue mainly for glue, but it also works on paper, and it's just a lot more stronger. So what you want to do is you want to put the shock cord all the way up to that number 2 mark right there, and then we'll put it in the middle. Then you fold it. You fold the 1 onto the 2 while putting Elmer's glue there, Then you fold it onto the 3 while putting a more Elmer's glue there, and then you hold it until it sets, and that'll create a strong bond. And I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Once that folded paper is dry, you put it about 1/2 inch down the tube, and then you put more Elmer's glue on the paper and glue it onto the tube in the inside, just like that. Another tricky thing to do, and you gotta let it dry. Once it dries, we go to the next step. Alright, for the last part of the assembly, we took the shock cord right there and tied it onto the cone. You can see it right there. I just did it in a double knot. Hell, you can even do a triple knot too if you don't feel safe with a double knot. And then we'll take our scissors and cut that little end there. Cut that little end off right there, and it'll be done. Alright, and then we'll pretty much, the rocket is fully assembled. I would show you the decals, but then that would give away what the name is. So, coming up next, part 2, getting the engine ready and the launch pad. Unfortunately, today we can't do it, and I'll show you why. And this is why we can't do it. It's too windy. Once winds hit over 20 miles an hour, the launch is a wash. So we'll have to try again. Unfortunately, the next few days looks like wind, so I will get back with you soon. Part 2.